Melinda French Gates. She announced her next chapter in philanthropy this week as she prepares to leave the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. She plans to donate $1 billion globally over the next 2 years to help support women and families, as well as reproductive rights in the U.S. A portion of the money will also be distributed in the form of a $20 million grants to individuals like former New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern and director Ava DuVernay to use at their discretion. I think Melinda was a funder of her recent film, for example. And there's a whole bunch of people. The 19th, she's given all these grants to really terrific groups. And it's a fascinating move between her and MacKenzie Scott. We have entered a very interesting era of philanthropy. MacKenzie Scott, as you know, used to be married to Jeff Bezos, donated $640 million to over 300 nonprofits a few months ago. She donated $2.2 billion last year. She is burning up getting rid of her money off her plate as if it's like lava. This is really interesting, these two women. And then obviously Lorraine Powell-Jobs is making media investments. She has her own Emerson Collective that does both philanthropy and investments. What do you think? What do you think about this?
I think it's wonderful. I think I'm a sexist. I think there are certain behaviors that are more prone to people born as women and born as men. And one of the things I notice about philanthropy from women is they're not as big on the ribbon cutting and believing that they should have input and influence into education because they give $50 million to the Newark School District, not recognizing they don't know a fucking thing about public school education. I find that generally speaking, when women give money away, it's in return, they ask for less in return, and they're more promiscuous. They're like, I've got a shit ton of money, it makes no sense to hoard wealth, and I'm going to start pushing it out, and I'm going to ask for almost nothing in return. And I think MacKenzie Scott is an outstanding American. I mean, look at, I'm here for Bill Gates's I'm here for Jeff Bezos' midlife crisis. I actually enjoy watching it. I can relate to it. But while he's building super yachts for $300 million, MacKenzie Scott is sending $15 million to the Jet Foundation to work on teen suicide. And by the way, she doesn't demand anything. She doesn't want to show up. She doesn't want her name on anything. She just wants to start helping people. And this feels like that. And then in another, what I think is just absolutely wonderful here, and I think I'm going on Morning Joe on
Oh, cool.
tomorrow.
You like that show.
I do, but more importantly, they like me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going on tomorrow and with Richard Reeves. But I'm a glass half empty kind of guy. I talk a lot about what's wrong with America. But here's the reality. Despite our House of Representatives insulting each other's looks, despite the zombie apocalypse of useful idiots on campuses, America is singular around some really wonderful things. And this is an American story. This is, and I'm a big fan of Richard Reeves. He kind of got highlighted to me or brought to my attention some of the things going on with the struggles that young men face. The guy's at the Brookings Institute. He's an outstanding scholar. He takes a risk, starts his own business. It's a nonprofit, but it's a true nonprofit. He doesn't answer to Microsoft, called the American Institute for Boys and Men. He takes a risk. He starts this thing just to produce research around the struggles that young men are facing. And then a woman named Melinda French Gates finds him and gives him $20 million. And you know something? This is a uniquely American story. It does happen in other parts of the world, but it doesn't happen as often as it happens in America. So for all of the shit posting and of all of the catastrophizing, of all of the clickbait around everything that's wrong with our nation, this is one of the things that's right with it. We create tremendous economic value, and then good people want to push it out to do good work. I just love this story. I'm really happy for Richard. And also Melinda French Gates has said bodily autonomy and women's rights are hugely important. She's passionate about it. It's wonderful. But at the same time, she said, if we're going to have a vibrant community, who wants more economically and emotionally viable young men? Women.
Yeah, that's right.
And she's giving money to an institute that's focused on boys.
Yeah.
I think she's wonderful.
She's excellent.
Go Melinda French Gates.
Let me make a comparison of something we just talked about. These sort of childish men are doing their stupid Trump fundraiser with very little money that they're putting out to get a lot of influence and doing no good for humanity except for themselves. Except for self-aggrandizing themselves. Both Chamath and David Sachs and also Elon Musk is doing this, but doing nothing to help all of society. They're just giving a piddling amount of money to whorish politicians in order to have influence. Meanwhile, Melinda Gates and Mackenzie Bezos are using money real money, not little tiny multi-million-dollar, $5,000 donations to have dinner with someone who has been found liable for rape. No, they're not using their money for that. They're giving away billions and billions of dollars to laudable people across the globe to make the world a better place. What a fucking comparison. These men are sad and dickless, and these women have balls as big as all ever. That's all I'll say.
Dickless, Jesus Christ.
Dickless, sorry, they're dickless.
By the way,
they're doing this so they can have a party in Silicon Valley for Trump. It drives me nuts that these people think they're important when this is where if you have money like this, this is what 100%. You should do with it. Thank you.
Well, again, they're not presenting their money to issues. They're using a small amount of money to present themselves.
That's correct.
One is vanity, one is philanthropy. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if you knew this, but my girlfriend often compared me to Bill Gates when we would have sex because I'm Microsoft.
Oh my God! You literally putting a penis joke on
That's
the
good.
Power
All of it. You are angry this morning. You are going after. You got to be careful in San Francisco. There's a lot of these pretend to care about the world.
They don't care about the world. That's the thing. These women do. They're actually putting their money where their mouth is, and they're 100%. Not. By the way. Are you hearing from MacKenzie Scott? She just gives the money and leaves in the dark of night. Right. Melinda Gates gave a few interviews talking, and she's giving to help reproductive rights. And by the way, they're putting it all over the place. It's not just in like liberal causes. They're putting it in places that matter for kids and families. They're putting it to feed people. They're putting it to, it's just like the contrast is so vast. I'm not mad. I'm like, why do these terrible men compared to these amazing women is just such a great contrast for me and understanding what's going on. By the way, FYI, a lot of these people, one of the things that the Gateses did start was the giving pledge with Warren Buffett in 2010. Mm-hmm. Sam Altman and his husband just announced that they plan to give away most of their wealth as part of the giving pledge. I've always thought that was a cool thing. I don't know. I've always thought...
I don't think it is.
You don't? Why? Tell me why. I don't know. To pledge to give away all your wealth? Why is that?
Okay, big fucking deal.
All right.
Okay, a pledge to give away all my wealth. This is what it means.
All right.
I'm going to put a couple $2 billion into a donor-advised fund.
Mm-hmm. And so this is different. This is the giving pledge. This is not that.
But the giving pledge, all the giving pledge says is that after I'm dead, that somebody is going to give my money away. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine, great. You don't believe in dynastic wealth. It has absolutely no impact on you. Maybe you even put it into a donor-advised fund where you get a tax deduction and can borrow against it. That's different than the giving pledge. But that's a component of this notion that you're a good person because at some point you're going to give your money away. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to a lot of virtue signaling right now. I hit my number 7 years ago, and I've decided that above that number I'm giving everything away now. Because here's the thing. This is a virus that ails America. Hoarding money.
Fair.
There needs to be a movement in America that once you hit your number, you just start giving it away now. You don't say, I want credit for being a great guy after I have had all my Boeing business jets, after I have bought football teams, after I've had 7 midlife crises, and then when I'm dead and it no longer matters to me, I'll give it away.
There Scott, is no... You have literally just convinced me. You are correct. I don't say this very often.
Uh-oh, cats living with dogs. The world has stopped rotating.
God, you're right. You're right. That's why I love these badass women. They're giving it away. Literally.
You know what the
Billions.
Goal is?
What?
The goal is to give I'll leave my kids a little bit of money, but this is the goal, to be at the end of your life, to spend the money on other people and experiences and be surrounded, die at home, be surrounded by people who are going to be really bummed that you're leaving. Not a bunch of press releases saying, why the fuck are you worth $100 billion?
Yeah, Scott.
Why didn't you start giving it away at $100 million?
How much are you leaving your kids? What is the number? What's the number one leaves one's kids?
This is the challenge, and this is a good problem, but you want to give them enough money such that they can do anything, but not enough money such that they can do nothing.
Ah, yes.
And the key is, I mean, again, this is the
Buy
world.
a house. Give them money for a house. That's what I say.
Money that, quite frankly, they don't have access to until they're 25, 35, and 45. Mm-hmm. Money for education, money for a home, but not enough money such that they don't have to work.
Yep. We're on the same parenting thing. That's the thing. That's correct. Yes, that's exactly.
But I've decided, and I love it, I hit my number 7 years ago, and my number is probably a lot lower than most of these guys. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, anything above that, I'm going to either spend it at the Hotel du Cap.
Yes,
or,
on me, by the way.
On friends and people I love, or I'm going to give it away. There is no reason, once you're above a certain number, to hoard wealth. I'm a big fan of Daniel Kahneman, and I went back and read some of his work when he passed away. Mm-hmm. let's pick a number, $100 million. Of
That's a
$100
big
million, if it grows 4 or 6% a year, $4 to $6 million a year gets you a beautiful home, a beautiful second home, a FlexJet card, do whatever you want with whomever you want pretty much all of the time. You can just have an extraordinary life. The difference between 100 million and a billion, there's no marginal increase in the quality of your life.
There is.
As a matter of fact, there'll be some increase. You can buy a football team, you can have more influence over politics, but there's also a downside. People start taking pictures of your kids. People start running stories about you in TMZ. There is a downside. So if there's no incremental gain in happiness, and so many people would benefit from the types of donations that MacKenzie Scott and Melinda Gates are making, why on earth wouldn't you enjoy that happiness and not hoard wealth
and help people? You know what? This was a very good explanation. I still think the others are shameful and these women are ballers. That's my feeling. Good for them.
Well, they're true. They define what it. The word giving is overused, and they have earned the right. They own the right to say that they are giving. What these other folks are doing is consumption. It's PR. A lot of it's virtue signaling. I'm going to give all my money away after I'm dead. Who the fuck? Well, I don't care what happens to my money after I'm dead. That's not doing anything.
Yeah,
that's not.
It should be now.
That's 100%.
Let's wander around and give people $100 bills. Let's do that.
And also, let me be a bit of a capitalist here. I also think it's really wonderful and good for the world to spend it. Spend a shit ton of money. Put it back into the economy. Enjoy it. The world offers amazing things that you can spend money on. I think it's great when people spend a ton of money.
Scott, I feel like this should be your next book.
Spend, bitches, spend. The new novel.
See, this is why I love this show. You have shifted my thoughts in a very good way, in a very helpful way. Anyway, I love these women. I think they're great. Anyway, it makes me feel so much better about the other assholes.